My topic for this video is ASD in the workplace, and before I get too far into the work aspects, I really want to hone in on the definition of ASD because there's a lot of misconceptions with it. So ASD stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, and this basically means that people with this disorder usually struggle to understand social cues, and because of this, there are a lot of miscommunications in their everyday lives. People with this disorder are more predisposed to other psychiatric disorders, such as anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and eating disorders. And I think there's this idea that a lot of people don't have this disorder, but 1% of the world is impacted, which is about 79 million people worldwide. So this clearly is not just a minuscule amount of people who struggle with these things. So in this video, I'll be talking about productivity with ASD individuals, as well as unemployment rates, and how jobs are just not designed for people with ASD, as well as common misinformation and actually a solution to this issue. So first, let's start with productivity. There's research that suggests that ASD individuals can be up to 140% more productive than neurotypicals when placed in the right working environment. And that latter part is the most important aspect of this. ASD individuals can struggle when they are not placed in the correct work. There's a really easy solution with this because people with ASD are better at recognizing minuscule detailed patterns that neurotypical people cannot see. And it's a lot of repetitive tasks that these people are really good at. So when you have technical work like this, they really thrive. And now keep in mind, this isn't everyone. Autism spectrum disorder is a spectrum. So this will not apply to every single person who is diagnosed with this. Like I mentioned earlier, they struggle with social cues. They are really blunt. They don't really sugarcoat anything, and they're just really honest. And because of this, they are very trusted employees in the workforce because they are loyal and they won't lie to you. Despite all this, though, the unemployment rates for people with ASD are surprisingly high, at 85% in the US and resting at a 78% in the UK. There's really no excuse for this because of all the technological advancements we have in 2023. We have AI technologies that can help with this and thoroughly explain tasks that need to be done. For example, my dad, he is a cardiologist with autism. He uses AI dictation software for notes. And also we have a hybrid model now. So these people with ASD can rest at home away from all the social stress and just work and be productive and get their job done. So why is this so high? It's really just the job design itself. It's an issue with the system. It's not even just individualistic, although I will get to that soon. Jobs are really personality focused, and I've never really realized this until I was researching. You can have all the application requirements, you can have a lot of experience, but if you're an asshole, you will not be hired. And this is because people want to have a good work environment. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people with ASD can be perceived as blunt, but this can also be misconstrued as rudeness, which is typically not their intentions. A lot of workplace norms, such as eye contact. Eye contact makes people with ASD very uncomfortable, and a lot of people with ASD struggle with it. But also, workplaces have very bright lights and are often very loud, which are all things that people with ASD really hate and really struggle with, which makes work very difficult, and that's why so many people just give up on jobs. As I mentioned, I talked to my dad, who is a cardiologist with ASD. He says this is due to a lack of experience or understanding of an autistic brain. It's really an easy fix for all this. First of all, there needs to be more research done on this, because this could not just be the one and only answer. Obviously, there could be many other factors that I haven't even talked about. It also comes down to employers researching on ASD, because I think they assume that because someone has ASD, they're not able to perform at a neurotypical worker's level, which isn't even the case, and sometimes it's the opposite. And it's really important that these people with ASD are matched with the correct jobs because, as I mentioned earlier, technical jobs are very good for people with ASD. But also, if that's not true for an individual, a lot of people with ASD have a special interest, as they call it in this community, which means that they are very knowledgeable in one specific area of study. For example, with my older brother, it's music. He's very into music. He knows a lot about music history, bands, whatever. And with my younger brother, it's dinosaurs. So if people just do a little research, I think this could be beneficial for all parties because the ASD unemployment rates would decrease immensely, but also this would increase productivity in the workplace because people with this disorder are actually so productive when matched with the right environment.